Hi, and welcome to the part of the webinar about debunking the myths of crypto. My name is Sunday Lima, and I'm so glad you're here. I hope to exceed your expectations. So let's talk about some of the myths. One myth is that cryptos are a fad and that they will fade like some other things that have happened in our life. But we've been hearing this for many years now, and the industry is showing no signs of going away. In fact, it continues to grow exponentially, even faster than the internet did. Experts are predicting this will continue over the next 10 years to reach half of the world's population. So just as when the internet started, a lot of people were like, oh, what is it? What are we going to use that for? You know, why do we need an email? We have a fax machine, or, you know, there was a lot. I remember when it first came out and my brother had an account, an AOL account, and I was like, oh, what a geek, you know, he's doing one of his geek things again, you know, and little did I know, a couple of years later, I'd have my own laptop and be fascinated with what I could do online. So it's the same thing with cryptocurrency, crypto assets, the blockchain technology. It is changing our world. You can find Bitcoin ATMs, for example, in your neighborhood. Just Google Bitcoin ATM near me, and chances are you'll find some. I live on a small island here, and I found 3 just down the street from my house. So it is not a fad that will fade. It is here, and it's just going to get bigger. And we are at the beginning stages. It's in its infancy. People are just learning about it, just like you. So the sooner you learn about it, the sooner you can perhaps, you know, make some good investment choices. You know, a lot of these businesses that are being built on the new blockchain are going to be worth billions of dollars, just like Amazon, Facebook, Google, etc. But there will be those like Yahoo that don't make it as far. But remember, yeah, it started with Yahoo, and Yahoo, remember that? And then, so we had Yahoo, and shortly thereafter, a couple of years later, Google came along and like blew Yahoo away. So there's going to be those cryptos that, you know, are popular right now, but there will be others that come behind them with better technology, better marketing, and blow them away. So, you know, it's best if you do decide to start investing to do some research, make sure you're talking to people you trust, and don't just buy on FOMO, which means fear of missing out. You want to make sure if you decide to invest, that you're taking your time and you're doing some research and you're understanding what you're investing in. That's my best advice. Anyway, and also learn about the safety precautions you need to make, which I will talk about. Okay, it's too late to invest. That's another myth. Well, from what I just said, doesn't sound like it's too late to invest, right? We are in the infancy stages. It is the best time to invest. You know, the absolute best time to invest in Bitcoin is when it first came out. I was recommended to buy it when it was $3. And I looked at it, I looked up what I was being recommended to invest in, and I just thought it was crazy. I'm like, I don't get this. How does that even make sense? So I didn't know anyone else who knew anything about it. And I honestly didn't take the time to research it. I wish I had. I would be a multimillionaire right now. But back in 2020, when our Federal Reserve started printing tons of, you know, dollars, I knew that inflation would soon follow. So that's when I started investigating online. What can I do with my money, and what's going on? You know, what can I do to prepare for this inflation that's ahead of us? And so that's when I discovered cryptocurrency again and Bitcoin, and finally did my research and started investing all by myself. And I started investing back when Bitcoin was at 10,000, and you know, found a bunch of others that I was interested in, and have been in the crypto space now a couple of years. and am very excited about the cryptocurrency space and the future. It's very exciting. So is it too late to invest? No. Now is the time. Crypto and the technology behind it called blockchain is only just getting started, and the industry is growing at an exponential rate, currently standing at over 2 trillion and set to grow over 100 trillion over the next 10 years. So imagine a $2 trillion industry to 100 trillion. I mean, we're in the beginning stages. It's not too late to invest. The sooner you invest, the better, or the sooner you at least start learning about it, the better. So another myth is that crypto is backed by nothing, unlike real money. So crypto is backed by its users and the technology supporting it, rather than like fiat currency, like the US dollar, rather than a central government controlled and government issued currency known as fiat. It isn't backed by any commodity such as gold. It used to be backed by gold until 1971, but now our fiat currency, our US dollar, is not backed by anything either. It's just backed by the central government. So the value that the dollar has is the value that we give it, right? And the more dollars that are printed, supply and demand, the more dollars that are printed, the lower the value of that currency. And that's why we're seeing inflation. And that's why we're going to see a lot of inflation, because trillions of dollars have been printed over the past couple of years. Whereas Bitcoin, for example, there's only a limited supply of Bitcoin. Only 21 million can ever be mined. So once it reaches 21 million, there will be no inflation at all. It'll be impossible because there's only a limited supply. There is not a limited supply of fiat currency. The fiat currency is available to be printed without limit by governments, and it's backed by nothing. The US dollar was once backed by gold, like I said before, and then it was taken off. But since then, inflation has, since 1971, it's skyrocketed. And when we have inflation, what does that do? It really takes money out of our pockets. It takes money out of our savings accounts. If I save $1,000 today for the future so that I have it 10 years from now when I retire, is it going to be worth the same? Am I going to be able to buy the same thing that I can, right? So no, I'm probably going to be able to buy half of what I could buy today, or maybe even less in 10 years with the way inflation is going. So if you have savings and you want to invest for the future, it's always a good idea to diversify what you are investing in and saving in. US dollars right now, with the inflation, it's not a good idea to be saving a lot of money in dollars. So the more it's printed, the more inflation we're going to have, which is going to decrease its value, is the bottom line. So again, the myth of crypto is backed by nothing, unlike real money. No, it is backed by the users and the technology. It has been adopted. There are Bitcoin ATMs being installed right now, and I think over 200 Walmart stores. Walmart. You can buy a Subway or a pizza at Pizza Hut with crypto. It's all over the world. It's here to stay, and people are using it as money. Another myth is crypto is mainly used to fund criminal enterprises. Well, throughout history, criminals have always been early adopters of technology, the form of cars, like from cars and pagers to cell phones and the internet. Many tools have been and can be used for good or evil. As you know, all of these. Blockchain technology is just another tool that can be used. With or without it, criminals will still find ways to do business. Will criminals be using blockchain technology to do illegal things? Yes. Just like they use the internet, just like they use their cell phones, just like, it'll always be there. So it's not something that is not going to be adopted by our society because of this issue. On the contrary. And finally, the last myth that I've heard most is that governments will ban it. Well, we do know that El Salvador has made it its legal tender. And by the very nature of the technology, it would be very, very difficult to outright ban it. Governments are beginning to recognize this, and many are moving in the direction of regulations. The United States is regulating it now. One country has already made it their legal tender, like I told you, and several others are planning to follow suit this year. And so overall, it is extremely likely that it's here to stay. So those are the 4 myths, the most common ones that I've heard. If you have any more that you would like for me to debunk, please send me an email or post a comment on my website, and I'd be happy to get back to you or include it in my next video on debunking crypto myths. Have a good day.